the King J, back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Clive and my thoughts trying him out. I've only played him once, so you're going to have to just bear with me. I played for like 9 hours. And again, if you don't know, I don't have a stream set up to be able to play him, more than one day. So we're just going to tell you the stuff that I know and what I think about him. Also as well, I just want to tell you about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Arc System Works. Double Dragon is a long and lengthy series of scrolling beat 'em up. They have a game coming out in 2025 in October called Double Dragon Revive. Now you need to make sure that you pre-order this game because, man, they never disappoint when it comes to this game. When I had the SNES, I was definitely playing that game. And that was one of the games that, is something that you need to get involved in. So yeah, shout out to Double Dragon. It's looking really cool. The characters, the stages, and the stage interactions looks amazing. So yeah, get involved in that. Now back to what I was saying. Now, obviously, excuse my voice, I do sound a bit ill, but I wanted to get this video out of the way. I do feel like when it comes to, hold on, let me turn off my edge for a second. Yeah, when it comes to Clive as a character, I definitely don't feel like he is suited in a game like Tekken. But saying that, I do feel like we're in a new era of Tekken. Now, what I mean by that is I do feel like Tekken 8 is not the same Tekken that we once knew before. Tekken before was all about, movement, spacing, with punishment. Those are the things that would be like, raw, that decision making was great. Whereas now, decision making is based on 50-50s. And that, to me, I'd say I'm an old school player. I don't really feel like, guessing 50-50 takes that much skill compared to, creating your opportunities to get in. Some characters had, better opportunities than others. Stuff like Magic 4 and stuff like that was good with certain characters. I've found like them trying to stop your rush down with a Magic 4 or stuff like that was cool, but I also felt like the combos did quite a decent amount of damage. Like someone like Kazumi could take you to the wall and then, wall combo, then a mix-up. So I thought that was pretty, I thought it was too strong, but, it was what it was. Now we're in the era of like, okay, I hit a heat engager and you have to guess. If I combo you, you go to the wall, yeah, it's a long day, depending on what character you are. So I was just like, okay, this is Tekken 8. I kind of was in a love-hate relationship with Tekken 8 already. I still try to understand the game, and I don't fully understand it as such, even though we're in a year of it now. We've got Season 2 happening. So with Clive, the reason why I said he doesn't suit the game is because he has so much different stuff going on visually, and I think it can be visually overwhelming for a game like Tekken. Now, I'm not saying guest characters don't deserve to be in Tekken. That wasn't what I said. And also as well, you lot need to actually read what I said. I never said Clive was going to kill Tekken. I said if you keep making decisions like this, you're going to kill Tekken. And what I mean by that is the Tekken that I know. Doesn't mean you're going to kill Tekken overall and no one's going to play it. The Tekken that I know, you're going to kill, right? We already have characters missing. We already don't have Bob. We don't have Ganryu. We don't have Bruce. We don't have Mokujin. We don't have Armor King. We don't have Marduk. We don't have, Lucky Chloe. I don't know who wants Lucky Chloe anyways. We don't have Katarina. There's so many characters that are missing from the roster, right? And, they said they weren't going to bring any guest characters. They weren't focusing on guest characters. And then we've got a guest character. Now, again, like I said, it's I'm a big fan of Clive. Clive is, to me, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. And it's not going to change because of a tweet. Some of you lot are crazy. I had someone calling me little bro, and it's like, you're crazy. You think, you're going to make me argue with you all day on Twitter. I ain't got time for that. No one has time to be sitting there arguing back and forth with people on Twitter, especially when you're not even relevant to even have an argument, or you're not even giving me anything to argue about. I've clearly said that basically the way how this is going, with the Tekken shop and all of these things, you're going to kill the Tekken that we know, right? I've been saying it for a long time. I did say the shop, yeah, is to fund certain things, cool. But some of the items that they've been doing, like, anyways, I don't want to go too much off track. We're talking about Clive here. Now, Clive, I don't like the fact that, we have a lot of weapon characters. We have a lot of weapon-based characters now. And I know there was an argument saying like, okay, oh, but we have Yoshimitsu, we have Victor, we have, Kuribitsu, we have bears, we have these stuff, and we have demons throwing out lasers. Yes, I want to break it down to you. You're not wrong. We have always had these things in Tekken. We always have, right? We always had. But, Roger, Alex, they were the unique pair that came in Tekken. Kuma and Panda were the unique pair that came in Tekken. They were known as bears, right? And then you have, like, what's the other ones? You have, the Devil Gene. So you have all the Mishimas that shoot lasers, right? So this was just unique to the Mishimas. From what I know, is there any other characters that shoot lasers? Maybe like True Ogre throw, just flamethrower and stuff like that. So there's other characters that could do that, right? I like the whole martial arts aspect of Tekken. Like, Bruce Lee looking like martial law, Lei looking like Jackie Chan, all of those type of, similarities. Like I think maybe where Tekken started to fall off a bit on those type of things is Tekken 6, because, you had Last, you had Alyssa, who's a cyborg chick, and then you had, Zafina with the mythology, and then you have like Bob, Leo. Leo's character just doesn't really look like, I don't know, I think Leo's quite boring, but the combos Leo does is really good. And then you had Tekken 7, where there was just a bunch of characters. Just you had Gigas, you had Shaheen. I like Shaheen's design, by the way. I do like, but his playstyle was boring in Tekken 7. In Tekken 8, he's more fun. You have who were the other characters that they had? They had Claudio. Again, Claudio was okay design. There was quite a few characters they had for Tekken 7, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the designs of these characters, I felt like it was starting to fall away from martial arts from Tekken 6, even Tekken 7, if I be honest. But Tekken 8, in terms of having a guest character, I think Clive, with all of those visual effects of the different summons or AKA icons for the Final Fantasy fans, I felt like it was definitely a big step away from what Tekken is, right? And that's coming from a Final Fantasy fan. Like, I don't need to like prove that I'm a fan. Go check the VODs. I've completed the game. Even with low viewers when I was streaming it, like I had low viewers, I still was playing that game. It was like 68 plus hours I played on stream, but like, yeah, I still played it. It was what it was. I was a big fan. I wanted to get the game done. But yeah, in terms of Clive's moves and just how he moves in the game, they done a very good job, and I'm fully okay with how they, put the icons with the character. He was really cool. Like, you got Leviathan, you got Odin. You could count the stacks with Odin and then get to level 5 and then do Zansetsuken. That was really cool. Like, he's really fun, but again, it's just like the Tekken that I know. I feel like I just need to kind of like just not even have expectations of that Tekken anymore. Like, I'm not going to expect Bruce to be back in the game. I'm not going to expect Fakram to, like, all these characters to come back. I'm just going to expect that this is a new era of Tekken. And that's what I've come to grips with. Like, sitting and understanding over the couple of days, just realizing, lots of things. I feel like we're in a new era of Tekken. And we just have to accept it, It just is what it is. Hurling abuse at me on Twitter is not going to change anything. I'm probably the worst person to do that, because if I do read it and I don't respond, it's because I just don't care enough. So all of that stuff doesn't really work with me, but I am very opinionated. And again, like I said, no matter if I like a character or if I like a series, if I feel like they don't gel with a certain game, I am going to say that I built a platform to say that. So it's not a problem. I do believe, like I say, this character is meant to be a Soul Calibur character, but you're right. Some of the people that was responding, Soul Calibur's dead. You know, they're not looking at reviving it. They're not looking at giving, you know, a sequel or, you know, Soul Calibur 7. Was it Soul Calibur 6 they're on? Yeah. They're, I don't even remember. I feel like it is Soul Calibur 6, right? Yeah. So they're not going to give us Soul Calibur 7. We've got Victor that wields a sword. We've got Yoshi that wields a sword. And now we have Clive that wields a sword, right? And it's now, this is just going to be a wild fest of characters. I'm waiting for Thomas the Tank Engine to come in, you know, and only have 3 moves. Because think about it, guest characters is not new in Tekken. Like, we had Gon in Tekken 3. But again, we could also argue that Tekken 3 never had a Tekken World Tour, right? Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 has a Tekken World Tour. So when these guest characters come in, it has to make sense. So, yeah. But, yeah. Moving on quickly. Clive's moves. Back 2 is ridiculous. Long range sword move where if it hits, he gets guaranteed follow-up. That is ridiculous. Forward 1+2, ridiculous. Right? These moves are crazy. What are, like, you know, what Clive could do. Forward 1+2 has so much range and it's a heat engager and it's safe. Insane. His lows ain't good, but that's what Geese was like. Geese was like the same character. Geese never had good lows outside of maybe sidestep 3. Before season 3, it used to counter hit knockdown, so you get like a proper combo in it. But in Tekken 7 season 3 or 4, it never counter hit knockdown. It's just that little toe stamp where you just hold your toe. But yeah, his lows are not great, but yeah, he's other stuff. His mids are ridiculous. I like the Zanetsuken. I like Zanetsuken, sorry. I also like his throw as well. I like Leviathan, where he does the beam, the water beam. I think that's pretty sick. I like the Phoenix stuff. I liked the character references. And if you lot didn't realize, he also has a special intro with himself. This is the first time we have a character that has a special intro with himself. Because he says like, oh, I need to accept the truth. This is the part of the main Final Fantasy 16 story where he fights himself. You know, he's like, oh, I've got to accept the truth. And then at the end, he's like, there's only one CLIVE ROSFIELD. And it's like, oh, snap, this is sick. So, don't get me wrong, there's a lot that's there, you know? And like I said, he's a fun character. So I hope you lot enjoy. Yeah, that's all I really need to say. I think, again, next year, season 2, I'm going to get my season 2 wish list. So make sure you lot check that out. Also, as well, enjoy Clive. I know I said that if you keep making decisions like this, it's going to kill Tekken. I didn't necessarily mean that Clive is going to kill the game. I just feel like, you know, if they keep pushing away from what it needs to be, you're going to eventually kill the game, right? There's already a lot of people, there's a lot of conversations that I do have in multiple group chats and stuff like that with different communities. And, you know, they feel very strongly about the game. They're probably not as vocal, but there is something definitely there. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. Right, so I think Clive was done with a lot of care. I can't lie. Like, the icons, the Zanetsuken, or Zanetsuken, however you say it, like, that was done with a lot of care, and I can't lie. Like, it was done very, very well. Like, the icons coming in when he's doing the attacks, even some of the stuff that he does, his win poses, his quotes as well. Very, very good. Very, very good. You could tell that there was a precise amount of information that was needed from Final Fantasy 16 and taken over to Tekken. I feel like there's a lot of people playing the character now as well. There's a lot more interest in Tekken. So I don't think like this DLC is necessarily gonna not have people come in and play the game. But I do feel like the people that have supported the game from the martial arts aspect of it, like myself, will probably be like, oh, it's another sword-based character. I don't even think Tifa would have been better, to be honest with you. I think Tifa, you could just dress her up. I think in every game, Tekken 7, Tekken 8, people dress up the female characters as Tifa, and they go to ranked. Like, what would you give Tifa in terms of moveset that is different than most of the Tekken characters anyways? Like, I don't think she would have been a better character. Although, I do feel like there definitely needs to be a female guest character at some point. You know, I would say Bayonetta, thought that would have been a good one, but, you know, who knows. But Clive, again, like I said, I'm really enjoying him just from the Final Fantasy 16 fan aspect. I'm a big, huge fan of the game. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, way more than I am Tekken. You know, like, this has been for years. So from that aspect, I'm always going to be, you know, supporting Clive. But yeah, I just don't think he suits Tekken 8 as such. Maybe my opinion will change over the time, but I don't know. And lastly, I would just like to shout out Clive, the character, sick character. Ben Starr for being a brilliant voice actor. I think he's absolutely amazing. Big fan of his work with Clive. I think it's very good. And I'd also like to shout out the decision to make this character come into the game. It's a very bold decision. Again, like I said, I'm not like changing from what I said. I still think he's a bit out of, like, I don't think it should be in a Tekken realm. But, you know, shout out to Harada, Michael Murray for making that step and bringing the character in. I'm not always going to agree with everything. And again, I'm definitely not one of those people that needs to agree to be on a paycheck or a payroll. Like, I've built my own platform to say how I feel. And that's how it is, you know? So if there's people that have other opinions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll gladly like to have a conversation or a discussion. You know, I don't do just throwing shots at people for having, you know, their own decisions. It's all about having a conversation. And that's what adults do. So, yeah, man, I'll definitely like to see what you lot got to say. And, yeah, we'll be on to the next video. Take it easy. Peace.
Simmer down. Simmer now. Couple kicks to your boat. I'm a winner now. Like Eddie with the feet. I'm a killer now. Simmer down. Simmer now.